Oh, well, it's saying live right now.
Yeah, now it's saying we're live.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
All right, there we go. All right, everybody, welcome to the new afternoon show here on ASAP Sports Network, the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Greg. How you doing today, Greg?
Oh, I'm doing good today, Chris. How's everything with you?
Doing pretty good. Been busy. I think I stayed up a little too late last night watching WrestleMania.
Everybody was watching it. I think I was like one of the only people that wasn't watching it because everybody kept talking about it.
It was about 1 a.m. time I got back home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was good.
That's good. That's awesome.
Well, guess let's go ahead and let's start with the women's basketball national tournament. I don't know if you watched any of the Final Four of that or the championship game. I watched some of the Final Four. Didn't get to watch the championship game, of course, because I was watching WrestleMania.
All right, yeah.
But South Carolina put it on Connecticut yesterday in the championship game.
They did. You're kind of seeing the changing of the guard now in women's college basketball. UConn has dominated for so many years. And the question was always, well, are they ever going to get any competition, or is UConn just going to keep winning until, the end of time is what it felt like. And so now you're seeing teams like South Carolina and Notre Dame and Louisville, these teams that can not only compete with UConn, but beat them. And it was a very convincing win. I think the closest UConn got was about 6 points. But other than that, South Carolina dominated. Destiny Henderson, her typical good game. She had 26. What's her name?
Leah Boston.
Yeah, Leah Boston with her typical double-double. She's gonna be good. That's gonna be a good player right there. So I'm happy for them. I'm happy for Don Staley, Donnie Don. Donnie Don got championship number 2. So it's awesome. It's good, I feel, for women's college basketball to have someone other than UConn winning everything. I think it will get more viewers as the years go on, because now it's not just, well, let's see if is UConn going to win by 30 or is it going to be 10 today? And so now we've gone from that to, they can actually lose these championship games. So it makes for more viewers. It makes for better games, and overall, I think it's a good thing for women's college basketball.
Yes, I do. I agree, and I wrote on my notes, Aaliyah Boston is a force.
Yes,
and she gets that ball underneath. You might as well forget it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was. I think some people forget she was named Player of the Year as well, even though the guard on that team was their leading scorer sometimes. But Boston was named National Player of the Year. And she's so big and athletic. It's unfair when she gets that ball down low.
Oh,
It's nice to start seeing other teams besides just Connecticut up there all the time. You're starting to see Stanford's build a good program now. South
Mhm.
Carolina has a good program. And that coach for South Carolina, Dawson, she became the first black coach to win two national championships as
Yes.
well.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Awesome.
and that
Yeah.
just helped that when that happens, that just helps open doors
Yes, it
for other
does.
people, for other coaches, especially minority coaches, to get more opportunities.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it does. Don Staley has definitely broken that door down, and now more opportunity for more um, um, minority head coaches in women's college basketball. So yeah, awesome.
And I think they should make a change and not do the women's tournament the same time as the men's tournament. Do them at
I agree.
separate times.
I agree.
I think more people would watch the women's tournament if it wasn't the same time as the men's.
Yeah, that's been talked about. Whether they should do it in like April or something. I think April would be fine. The men's tournament would be over. The women would get their own month. Um, it'll get more people watching. The only thing that kind of would mess with that is you have the NBA playoffs going on right around the middle of April. So maybe that's what they're kind of, scared of. They don't want to, do it at the same time as the NBA playoffs. But yeah, I mean, I think April will be a good month for women's college basketball to do theirs. I do think it would bring more viewers.
Yeah, I think it'd help it even grow women's college basketball even grow more. Because like I watch quite a bit of it, but I know a lot of people they forget that's on or they don't even really pay attention to it.
Mhm.
Where if you didn't have that option to go to a men's game, I think people would give it a chance more.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yes. But
Speaking of the men, oh, go ahead.
no, I was saying, but congrats to South Carolina. Don Staley getting it done yesterday. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
I thought it was going to really, honestly, I was surprised when I saw the score because I thought it'd be a real good game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I watched some of the highlights and I was like, man, they pretty much dominated Connecticut.
Oh, yeah, they did. They did, definitely.
Then in the men's tournament tonight, got the championship game. And Kansas versus North Carolina. I don't think very many people thought North Carolina would be in the national championship game this year.
Oh, no.
They were an 8
No.
seed, but I mean, they turned it. They got hot at the right time there toward the end of the season. I don't know. I got Kansas this game, and the main reason is I think this could be a big letdown game for North Carolina. I think Duke was almost like their national championship game. It's your big rival. It's Coach K's last go around. And sometimes after big games like that, it's hard for a team to come back a day later and be as focused as they were that night.
Yeah, it is. As a Duke fan, my heart was hurt on Saturday. Losing that one, just so close to getting Coach K back to the title. I don't like neither team, but if I had to pick one, well, this is where the game is going to come down to. I think whoever's bigs play better, that's who's going to win this game. If Manic and Baku have their way, North Carolina is going to win. If McCormick and Abaji have their way for Kansas is going to win the game. So it's going to be a battle of the bigs tonight, kind of an old school kind of type feel in this game. But the Achilles heel, I think, for Kansas, just from watching most of their games this season, is when they get cold from now, they get really cold. And if this happens tonight, where the bigs, aren't really getting it done, and then on top of that, they get cold shooting, it's going to be a long night for them. So, but I just think that the way that the Kansas bigs are playing right now, I'll go ahead and say that they'll go ahead and win tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina was able to pull it out.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if North Carolina was able to win. I think it's going to be a real good game. Thing that worries me a little bit with North Carolina is Baco's ankle.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
effective will he be on that ankle? Because you're only getting a day to really get treatment and try to get it where you can. And ankles, they can be tricky.
They can.
So that kind of worries me. But yeah, and then like you said with Kansas, if their outside shooting is cold, they'll be in trouble, especially if their bigs can't dominate. But I think it's going to be a real good game. What is your thoughts on the NCAA tournament this year for the men's tournament?
It's been this tournament has been one of the most fun and crazy tournaments. Now it feels like a normal NCAA tournament. I know we had it last year, and it wasn't much fans and things. This felt like the pre-COVID tournament, and
Yeah.
it definitely lived up to it. St. Peter's was a great story. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah,
And nobody saw that one. So that was good. And then Coach K making it all the way to the Final Four. That was another great storyline. So we've had storylines, we've had great games, we've had great finishes. It's been an awesome tournament. Even though I don't like neither team. I do hope for a good game. Let it be, let it be good, let it be close, and send the tournament out good.
Yeah. I think this could be one of them real close games and could even maybe be like an overtime game because I just if both these teams, especially if both these teams are shooting the ball well.
Yes. Yeah, watch out for Caleb Love too. If Caleb Love we've seen it. The big shot against Duke, the dagger, straight to my heart that he made that three late, and then what he did against St. Peter's and also against the Bruins. So Caleb Love is he is their sharpshooter. When he's on, he is deadly. So
that's the reason I think it's going to be a real good game is both these teams have got hot here in the tournament and been playing some of their best basketball.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. This tournament, I think the tournament's been great. And one reason, like you said, it's felt normal. It's felt like it's back to normal March Madness. I went to the Big Ten championship game. I know it's not part of March Madness, but went there and that stadium was full of people. It was almost like COVID had never happened. Everybody was in there, people giving each other high fives after buckets and stuff. I mean, it was just back to basically normal, and it was cool. It was cool to see that because that was the first time I've really went to a live game like that since the COVID.
Right.
I know it's still out there, but since it's kind of calmed down some.
Yeah.
But that place was packed. It would have been better if I would have got to watch IU and Purdue, but that Bohannon from Iowa had to bank that three and send IU home.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but IU's my team, and plus it'd been awesome because I live here in Indiana. It'd been awesome to see. That place would have been rocking if it was IU and Purdue in the Big Ten championship game.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Because that place was loud for Purdue and Iowa. If it had been Purdue and Indiana, it'd been crazy.
Yes, it would have. But yeah, it's good to see things getting back to normal, definitely. So yeah, awesome. It's good.
Do you think this this tournament run? What do you think this tournament run done for Coach K's legacy? Did it change his legacy any?
No, it's everything. Coach K didn't lose anything by losing Saturday. He is still the greatest college basketball coach of all time. If you want to say John Wooden, I'm not going to argue. But to me, he's one of the I believe Coach K is the greatest because he won in different eras. Yeah. he was able to do it in the 90s when you could have 4-year players and, and all that in the early 2000s. And then as the one and done thing became more of a thing, he was able to, venture that way and be able to win that way too. So winning in the different eras, 13 Final Fours, that's hard. Winning 5 national championships, that's hard. And so, of course, you got to have some luck your way. Of course, he had the Leitner shot, and Gordon Hayward missed his when Duke played Butler for the title. So balls got to bounce your way in order to
Hayward shot hit every part of the rim it could. It just
did.
happened to roll the other way.
It did. And honest to goodness, if Gordon Hayward would have made that shot, I would have hated him for the rest of my life. Just putting that out there. I'm like, oh, thank God he missed.
It seemed like that ball seemed like it hung up there on the rim forever. I remember watching that game.
It did.
It did. It seemed like it hung up there forever.
Yeah.
But I agree. I don't think anything that would have happened this year and this last year was going to affect his legacy. He'd already cemented that he was, even if you don't want to call him the best coach, he's one of the best coaches. I would say he's the best. I mean, he was the first coach to reach 1,000 wins.
Mm-hmm.
He also has the most wins in NCAA basketball history.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
5 Olympic gold medals. 2 as an assistant and 3 as a head coach. So I mean, and 5 national titles. So he's done everything.
Everything.
And like you said, he's been able to adapt, even go do it coaching in the Olympics where you're not with the college kids no more. Now you're with grown men that are making more money than you're making.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was able to get along with them guys and make that successful.
And he's very good. Coach K is always good at making sure everybody's ego is checked. Coaching the U.S. team, all these all-star players, everybody, in their own mind thinks they're, great and everything. But he was able to still have them play as a team. And that's the greatness of Coach K. He never let no one be above the team, whether it was Duke or whether it was the U.S. team. So that's one of his great, qualities. So I love Coach. I will miss him. I will miss Coach. But I think Duke is in good hands.
Have they who's taken over the program?
Shire.
Okay.
Yeah, John Shire.
He's been a long time assistant, hasn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we'll be good.
I was gonna say, you think that's a good move?
Yeah. We all kind of knew whoever was going to take over when this day came, it was going to be someone that was in the Duke family. So with Chris Collins and everybody else already gone, the logical choice, it was Coach K was going to go with Shire. So within the first 5 years, I mean, I still want Final Fours. I still want, championships. So,
well, how much of this year's team would be back?
I don't. You know what? I hope they all come back, but I think Paulo Banchero, he's probably gonna leave. Maybe Keels too. So maybe 2 out of the 5 will go. I would love for Williams to come back, but he might go to the draft. So, but Duke has the best recruiting class coming in. So John Shire should be able to do something with that.
Well, that's a good sign if they have the top ranked recruiting class coming in for as his first recruiting class.
Yes.
Because I mean, he probably done most of the recruiting for this because they knew Coach K. They knew this was Coach K's last year in advance.
Yeah.
And that's another good thing about him announcing it like that. It gives the university time to have a plan instead of just kind of rushing and finding somebody to take over.
Yeah. They did a great job. Everything has been planned out. I think even 3 years ago, I'm probably sure Coach K and John Shire had that talks like, hey, in the next couple of years, I'm probably going to be out of here. So I want you to do this, that, and that. And so,
because he probably had opportunities where he could have went and been a head coach somewhere else if he wanted to.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's one of the bright young coaches that's out there. So, but I am glad that he stayed. I hope that the assistants that are there for Duke that have been there, I hope they all stay as well. I'm pretty sure that they will. So my expectations are, like I said, they're still the same. So when we start next season, it's gonna be all right. I want my ACC regular season channel. I want my ACC tournament, and I want my Final Four. So it's we can't tamp down the expectation just because it's year one.
Yeah, no, I understand, especially when you have a succession plan like that. You shouldn't, and when you have the number one recruiting class coming in, and like you said, some of them, if you get a couple of them guys off this year's team to stay, they're still going to be real competitive.
Oh yeah. Duke should still be good. Carolina is now going to be that's now going to be a force now. Hubert Davis he's doing an awesome job there. So it's definitely going to be a battle these next few years.
I'd have to look, but I don't think that happens very often that a coach in his first year at a program makes it to the national title game.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I mean, I don't remember nobody off the top of my head.
I mean, when UConn won with Kevin Ollie, the Kemba Walker year, I can't remember if that was his first or second year.
I'm not sure, but
yeah, that would be the closest one that I could think of. But yeah, it is. It's definitely hard to win your very first year. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just to make it as far as they have, it's like, man, you've built that chemistry up quick.
Oh
yeah. How do you think this name and likeness deal is going to affect the college recruiting in college basketball? Now that these players are going to be able to, I mean, basically, recruiting is even going to be, I think, even harder now because now everybody's going to be offering money and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There was programs and people that was already doing it.
Yeah, they was doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, but now that you can do it, I think you're going to see even more of it. Mm-hmm. I think that might help some of these the college programs that have been right there at the hump trying to get over that hump that might be in like 15 to 20 range. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to help them be more competitive because, I mean, you get some of the boosters involved and stuff. And they're going to be able to get players that they might not get the top recruits, but they're still going to be able to get players that they used to not be able to get because now they can actually compete in the recruiting with money or whatever else.
Yeah. And also I hope what the good part that comes out of this is it keeps players that want to go to the draft just to make some money that really need to stay another year or two. Yep. Now you can stay another year or two.
Another year or two and develop your game.
Exactly. So now you can stay, you'll be able to make some money. I mean, of course it's not, NBA money, but still it's enough to get you through. and work on your craft more. And I hope that it does that, because we've seen a lot of players go freshman year, then they go to the draft and they become nothing basically.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I'm hoping that it does that where you don't see as many of these players that leave college to go to the NBA, then you never hear their name again.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Or
So
if some of these guys would have stayed in college maybe another year or two and developed their game before they went to that level, they might have had a totally different career and even made more money.
Yeah. Yeah. One and dones is for, you got to have the talent of like a Braun or a Kobe or something. It's got to be something like that. And if you are not that, I know it a lot. A lot of people like to think that they are, but if you're not on that level, then let's stay the 2-3 years. We'll get your skills right, and you'll be able to have a successful career.
And if you only play 1 year in college, and you're not ranked in the top like 5 of that draft class, you in my opinion, you should stay another year.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're not guaranteed that you're going to be a lottery pick, you might as well stay another year and develop.
Yeah, definitely. The guys that come out and they're like, yeah, he's picked to go like 25th or whatever in the first round. It's like, well, just stay then. Just stay another year so you can work on your game. Maybe you get picked 15th or 10th the next year.
You might be able to get more money the next year because you could be a higher draft pick.
Right. So I think I'm hoping that now that they're doing this, they're paying them. It'll get them to stay in school longer so that they can work on their game and become better ball players. So,
yeah, I do. I think if the players would stay in college longer, it makes the NBA better too because you have better players coming in. It makes everything work better. And you get some of these guys that are drafted top 20 in the NBA, and you never see them again.
You never see.
I mean, if you think about it, here out of the last few drafts, you might know 5 or 6 players that or how they're doing in the NBA. Other than that, it's like, for example, Zeller, Cody Zeller played for IU.
Yes,
left right after that. I was hoping he'd play another year. Went to the NBA. You never hear nothing about Zeller very often.
Yeah, Zip. I'm not sure he's still in the league playing.
Last I knew, he was on Charlotte.
He's on Charlotte. Okay, all right. The same thing with Tyler Hansborough.
Yeah,
Tyler Hansborough. All the hoopla coming out of Carolina. He goes to the NBA, and it's an average, career. I mean, he stayed. I believe he stayed the 4 years. But even still, sometimes your game, how it worked in college, it doesn't transfer over.
Yep.
So that's also another factor.
Yeah, because in college, you're not playing against the best players every night. Where in the NBA, you're playing against some of the best players in the world every night. Whether you're playing a team that don't have a good record or not, they have some good players. Some of the some of the good best players in the world on that team. So you're in the NBA, you can't get away with some of the stuff you can get away with in college.
Exactly.
Even though they don't play as much defense in the NBA as I think they should, but it's a totally different game than what college ball is.
Yeah, it's different, and you can. The only thing I'll say is in the NBA, you can get away with more as far as you can travel. You can foul. They don't really call a lot of fouls. Whereas in college, you can't really travel that much, and sometimes the refs can have a very tight whistle in college. So those are the two differences there. But yeah,
Mentioning the refs. The refs in the NCAA tournament have been terrible.
Yeah, they've
Man.
missed some. Yeah, they've missed some calls. Yeah,
But, at the last 2 minutes of some games, it's like, come on, how do you miss that?
yeah. Even the foul in the Duke Carolina game, the foul that was called on Roche late. To me, I'm not just saying it because I'm a Duke fan. I know that somebody's about to say something, but when in that type of situation, it is a 1-point game. Caleb Love was driving. Freddie Roach, got on him, but he still had enough room to, shoot the basketball. And it's not like he obviously hit his arm or hit his wrist or something like that. So if it's not obvious, I don't want them to call it. Now, not saying, the game still could have went the way that it went, so I'm not saying that did not cost us a game. Missing free throws cost Duke that game. But that's a situation where I want the ref to be like, play on. It's not obvious. Let these players dictate who wins,
That's my thing. Don't officiate the game different in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that a lot. The game will be called one way, and then all of a sudden, the last 2 minutes, the whistles will get real tight, or that goes the opposite way, where they've been tight all game, and then they don't call anything.
Yeah,
that's all I want. Just stay consistent. If that's been a foul all game, it's a foul with under 2 minutes. If it hasn't been a foul, it's not a foul.
And call it both ways.
Yes.
It's a lot of times where, okay, this team is getting calls. You're like, okay, well, if that's an offensive foul when we do it, I want it to be an offensive foul when they do it. And then when they do it, it's not an offensive foul. So I want the calls to go both ways. And I would prefer, if you call it tight early, stay that way.
Yeah.
If you're not, if it's loose, you're letting them play early, stay that way.
Yeah, because if it's consistent, then the players know what to expect.
Yeah, then they know.
They know what they can get away with and what they can't get away with that day.
Mm-hmm. All right. But hopefully tonight the refs are not the story. We're not coming back on there tomorrow like, oh, that horrible foul call. That's so yeah, they need to. I would prefer, since it is a championship game, that they just let the players play and not, call too much tonight.
Yeah. Thing I hate is when they'll wait and see if the shot goes in and then blow the whistle.
Then blow. And one. It's like, what?
It's a foul whether he makes it or not. So blow the whistle when you want to call the foul. Because sometimes they'll do that, and then they'll make the shot and they don't call the foul.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Or if they miss the shot, then all of a sudden there's a whistle, and it's like, okay, I agree there was a foul there, but it makes it look bad to the fans when it's like, oh, they're waiting to see if the bucket went in or not before they're going to call it.
Before they call it, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And you see it in the NBA sometimes. They kick out. They kick Middleton out of that game the other night where he reached in and got the guy on the arm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was jumping up and he fell. To me, that should have been a play on.
Yeah, that's a play on, yeah.
Call foul. It was a regular foul and play on. He shouldn't have got ejected from the game.
No, that
was just a hard foul. I know when I was a kid and was playing basketball, you were taught if you're going if you're going up and you're going to foul them, make sure they don't get the ball up there so they get the N1.
Make sure, yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to foul them, basically foul them hard. And that's what he did. It just looked bad because of the way the momentum went. But it wasn't like I didn't think he'd done anything to get a flagrant 2 and to get thrown out of the game like that. Bucks still won the game.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he shouldn't have got thrown out.
No, he shouldn't have been. That's how soft the NBA has gotten. Where any little thing is a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. It's like, this is This is crazy. Yeah.
I remember when I was growing up watching it in the 90s, a lot of stuff that's called today wouldn't call a foul.
Yeah, it wasn't. You had to literally be bleeding for it to get a flagrant. Yeah.
I was going to say to get a flagrant. Yeah, you almost had to throw a punch, or you had to do something pretty bad to get a flagrant.
To get a flagrant back then, yeah. Because
especially to get a flagrant where they would throw you out of the game.
Yeah.
Hell, Lambert used to try to kill people.
Yeah, Bill Lambert. Yeah. When I used to watch those Knicks Heat games back then, when I was younger, it was physical, and and they would just fight. Like, it wasn't like if they had a problem with somebody, and it was a couple times where benches, the whole bench would clear and everybody, was on each other, back then. But yeah,
I grew up. I'm a Pacers fan. I grew up watching the Pacers and the Knicks.
And Pacers Knicks back then. Yeah,
you get Charles Oakley and Ewing, and then the Davis brothers going at it.
Yeah,
and you went down the lane. You were getting hammered.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's when basketball was basketball.
Oh yeah, I still remember watching Reggie and Spike Lee go at it all the time. Knicks fans wanted to kill Spike Lee after that one game where I think Reggie got like 23 in the fourth quarter, and the Pacers came back to win.
Oh yeah. Reggie was doing the choke. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying the players today wouldn't done good back then, because you can adapt, but it's a lot easier to score now than it was back then. With defense can't hand check no more. And back then, you try to go around somebody, they can just basically grab you almost and get back in front of you. Now you can't even touch. You can't even touch them, or you're going to get called for a foul. So that makes it a lot easier to score than what. It's just two different styles of basketball.
All right.
That's why I think, to me, it's hard to say that. Which I think Michael Jordan's the best player I've ever seen play, but it's hard to say that one that he's better than LeBron, or LeBron's better than him, because it was two totally different games.
Yeah,
it's not even the same. It's not even the same game anymore.
Yeah, it was. It's two different eras, and I always say when that comes up is, what did you do when it was time? And the reason why I always go with Jordan is because Jordan was clutch when he needed to be.
Yep.
There's been a lot of times where Bron, you're like, okay, where is he? Especially in that Dallas series, like, where he only had 12 points. What? Like, what's going on? So yeah, that's the reason why I always kind of side Jordan.
That's one reason I side with Jordan, and the other reason I side with Jordan is, if you think about it, after his first couple of years they struggled, but once they got the team together and started winning, there wasn't no other. He wouldn't let nobody else win championships. Everybody's won championships why LeBron's been in the league.
Everybody's won. Yeah.
Jordan kept people from getting championships. That's, to me, LeBron hasn't done that to the extent that Jordan did.
Yeah.
Jordan, like Reggie Miller, never got a championship. Charles Barkley. I mean, there's some great players that if Jordan wasn't there, they probably would have got. There would have been a good chance they would have got a championship.
Yeah, and if Jordan doesn't go play baseball
they might have had
2 years, it was 8. It was gonna be 8 because they would have beat those Houston teams. Now it may have went the whole 7 games. It may have went the whole 7, but I still think they would have won those.
And they might have won 5 in a row.
Yeah. They would have been.
Or maybe 8 in a row.
Yeah. It would have been 8.
Yeah, because if he would have took those 2 years off in between, they might have.
Yeah.
And then and it wasn't like that team was bad when the Bulls decided to break it up. If it wouldn't have been for that Krause wanting to break it up, they might have been able to keep going on the run.
Yeah, they would have kept on. Yeah,
could have added a couple pieces and been right there again.
Yeah. If
Phil would have came back.
If Phil would have came back, they would have won that 99 one too.
Yep.
because it was a strike shortened season anyway. So,
Yep.
but I feel bad for Reggie. I do. He played in the
I do
Jordan
too.
era, and then I was like, okay, Jordan's gone. It's like, oh well, Kobe and Shaq now. So now you can't win. It's like
You finally make it to the finals, and then you got to play Kobe and Shaq.
Kobe and Shaq. Like,
And Shaq got his prime where he just threw everybody around.
oh man,
He threw Rick Smits around that series.
oh nobody could hold him. Smith, Anthony Davis, nobody. No,
He's the most dominant player I've got to watch that I've seen play like live. I'm not saying he's the best ever, but man, when he was in his prime, he was dominant. Like you said, you couldn't stop him.
Couldn't.
It was crazy that him and Penny couldn't win in Orlando.
Yeah, I think at that time Shaq was, still young, still trying to figure it out, and
probably still had a lot going on the outside of basketball then too.
yeah, he's partying, doing all that. So, and then Penny, he kind of wanted to be the guy. So that was another thing too. So
we got a comment from Lennon saying Barkley, Stockton, Malone, Peyton, Shaq, and Orlando, Reggie Miller, Hardaway, among countless others that MJ stopped from winning rings.
Yeah, he did. MJ is the reason why none of these on this list right here have rings.
And I was never a Michael Jordan fan because I was a diehard Reggie Miller fan.
Yeah.
And I didn't care for Michael Jordan because he was the one that was him and the Knicks. First we couldn't get past the Knicks. There was always something with the Knicks. We could always go to Game 7 or Game 6 or something, and we'd lose.
Yeah. That was when basketball was great. Those were some great games.
I loved watching especially the playoffs back then. You'd be looking forward to it was like everybody was looking forward to the game coming on, and now it's just everybody watches on their phone or just watches highlights.
Yeah, and people forget that 98 Pacers team that gave the Bulls all they could handle in that Eastern Conference final. That was as close as we saw of a team in the Eastern Conference taking over in the Jordan era, because that Pacers team was very, very good. That was a very good team.
Yeah, when they added Mark Jackson to that team at the point guard, that team got a lot better.
Yeah, they were that close.
Then the year that they decided to brawl in Detroit, I think the Pacers was going to have a hell of a chance to win it that year.
Yeah,
Reggie's last year, they had an awesome team, but then everybody got suspended.
They got suspended. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that 98 Pacer team, if they would have won that Game 7 and went up, they would have won the finals that year.
And then in 2000, when they did make the finals against Shaq and Kobe, it was just they were outmatched.
Oh yeah.
If it would have been any other team in the West, they would have had a good chance, but nobody was beating Shaq and Kobe at that time.
Mm-mm. They were both in their primes. Yes.
Oh, what did he say here? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying that we could have saw LeBron and MJ if
that's
MJ
right.
would have stayed another year.
Stay one more, yeah. That would have ended all debate, because even in those last years, Jordan could still take Bron. Even in a rookie Bron, it doesn't matter to me. Jordan would have put up his numbers. Bron might have put up his. That would have been a great matchup. Yes.
Speaking of LeBron, do you think LeBron will leave the Lakers? It don't look like they're going to make the playoffs. It's an old roster. I don't see how they're going to improve that roster to make them a contender for next year.
He's out
because they have a lot of money tied up in LeBron, Davis, and Westbrook.
Yeah.
I don't see him being able to trade Westbrook. Nobody's going to take on that 20-something million a year salary.
Yeah.
So, and he's not going to he's not going to option out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be stupid.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Yeah, he's done. I think Braun is done with the Lakers. But this is what happens, though. The team, whatever team Braun is with, whenever it's kind of tilting downward, he'll leave and jump somewhere else.
Yep.
And when he'll join the Nets. I don't know if KD would. I don't know how that would work.
If he went and joined the Nets, would the media and everybody get on him like they did KD when KD left and went to the Warriors?
I would hope so.
I would hope so. You would find out if the media would report the truth, or if they would try to favor LeBron just because it's LeBron. Because they buried Durant for doing the exact same thing.
Oh, well, he shouldn't have went to the team that beat him. And it's like he had to get away from Russell Westbrook some way. Where is he gonna go?
I'll have a chance to go over here and play with Curry and Thompson, or I can go over here and play on the Pistons and not win no games. I mean, I'm going to choose a team I'm not going to have a chance to win on. That's why I understand. Like, people, if you had the chance to go play with the Warriors or any other team at that time, who are you going to choose?
You're gonna pick Golden State at that time.
He didn't do anything that not any other player wouldn't have done if they had the opportunity.
Exactly. That's why I never understood the whole, hype about him joining Golden State. Well, they won 70 games without him. Yeah, they did. And
but they win a championship.
They didn't win the chip. So, even though I think, the league kind of helped in some of those finals games, but yeah, I hope so. They love Braun too. Yeah, they do. They do, Lennon. You're right.
Oh, and then if the media if they don't get on LeBron like that, then you're gonna have people going after the media. It'd be an interesting time for sure.
Oh yeah. And I've always the only people in media that hold Braun's feet to the fire is Skip Bayless and maybe 2 other people. That's it. And I'm not, I know everybody.
Skip's going to be done once LeBron retires. He ain't going to have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
He'll be able to talk about this, the Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys Brady. And Brady. Yeah, that's it.
You got lucky Brady came back. All his topics are going to be gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Brady would play till he's 50, feel like.
I'm not going to lie. When that show first started, that Undisputed, I liked it. I watched it a lot.
Oh yeah, it was very good.
But now it got over the pandemic. It got to where all they talked about was Dallas Cowboys, Tom Brady, and LeBron. Every day, that was the 3 things.
That was it.
I don't want to hear you talk about the same. I don't want to hear you talk about the same thing every day.
And then
so I quit watching it because of that. I was like, I already know what they're going to say.
Yeah, and then when they talk about the Chiefs, it's always Shannon's like, Patrick Mahomes is great and everything. And then Skip Bayless like, no, he's not. He throws off 1 foot. I was like, okay.
I agree, Lennon.
Yeah, that's right. And now when I'm gonna say another thing that gets under Braun fans' skin. Ray Allen and Kyrie Irving saved his legacy, but nobody wants to have that conversation.
Yeah, I could see that too. Try to get under that luxury tax.
Yeah. I think Braun is going to leave the Lakers. He'll join a team where he thinks he can win one last, chip with. He's gonna keep playing until he gets the scoring title anyway. So, could I see him with the Nets? Yeah. Phoenix, yeah, something like that. But people don't want to talk about. Like I said, he has the 6 finals losses, and then. If Ray Allen and Kyrie Irving don't make those shots, he's now 2-8, and we're having a whole different discussion now. It's way different.
And it wasn't like that Ray Allen shot was just a normal shot that he's going to hit every time. That was,
No.
I mean, they got lucky on that one.
That was very lucky. If Tim Duncan was in the game when he was supposed to be in the game, Pop, he wouldn't have had that shot. So
yeah, well, there was one of it was in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think it was Eastern Conference Finals. I think it was the second round of playoffs. Pacers against the Cavs.
Mhm.
And for some reason, the Pacers didn't have Hibbert in the game at that time and left the rim wide open for him to get a bucket right at the end of the beat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because the Pacers were close to putting the Cavs out a couple times when LeBron was there. They played them out as tough as anybody in the East.
Yep. They won 7 games the first time, and I think it was 6 the second go around.
And one time LeBron got that block from behind on Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that second go around. If the Pacers, because the Pacers had the home court in that second one. If they would have found a way to get up 2-0 going back to Cleveland, I feel like the Pacers would have found a way to win that series. But since it ended at 1-1, yeah.
I think he might end up back in Cleveland.
Yeah, they keep saying that.
Yeah, Cleveland's built their team back up. They have a decent, pretty good young core. I mean, I could see him going there and trying to make another run, and then trying to get his son on that team. So I know he wants to play with his son.
Oh yeah. If Cleveland is definitely gonna be a spot that he'll think on. The fans will take him back. Trey Russ and 2 firsts for Bradley Beal. Yeah,
I just don't see nobody taking on Russ's contract.
But trade him back because Bradley Beal is still with the Wizards, right?
Yep.
So trade him back to Washington. I don't think Washington even want him back.
Especially not at that price.
Yeah.
I think if I remember, I think it's like 27 million this year or something for his player option.
Yeah, for 27. Yeah.
I don't see many teams going to trade into that salary.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, that's why he's going to keep playing those scoring titles, opportunity to play.
Yeah, definitely. What's
going on, Damien?
Going on, Damien?
Hey, this is nice. Comment section's been a little busy today. That's always nice.
Yes. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for your commenting and watching, definitely. But yeah, we'll see how it goes down. Now, the only thing I'll say is Bron needs to take blame as far as bringing Russ to the Lakers. He gets blamed for that because he wanted him there. Everything else, honestly, Bron is playing the best ball in his whole, career right now.
Yeah.
No, at his age, and so his playing, I'm not criticizing his play. He's been playing great, but he does get blamed for bringing in Russ. He has to get blamed for that.
Yep. Bringing in Russ this year, it didn't make no sense.
No, it didn't. That's why I was so shocked.
They would have been better. They were better off with the guys they had. Keeping Caruso and them would have been better than doing that. I didn't understand that at all. Because Caruso had one of his better years last year in the LA.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't understand. They got rid of too many of their young players, got old, and then injuries have hurt them. That's what's hurt. That's the one thing that's hurt LeBron since he's been in LA is he's got hurt somewhere. LeBron never got hurt.
Yeah.
And then you bring Anthony Davis in who can't stay healthy. What was it Barkley calls him? Anthony Street Clothes Davis.
Street clothes, and he's more fragile than like some China glass you get from Amazon or something. Like this is just his is bad. And
then everybody wants to blame everything. Oh, it's all Westbrook's fault. It's all Westbrook's fault. How's it all Westbrook's fault? Has he played great? No, but it ain't all his fault.
No, it's not all. Not all.
It's just a poorly constructed team.
Yes. Yes, it is. They knew that Westbrook is a ball hog, and they still wanted to try it. And this is what happens.
When LeBron's on the team, the offense he's the facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so why you go bring in another guy that has to have the ball in his hand? It's like
exactly.
It didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
Unless you were going to try to turn him into your sixth man.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the role they brought him in to be. You can't when you pay him that much money.
Yeah. They would have been better off getting James Harden or somebody, because at least James Harden be like, okay, I'll play my role. I don't need the ball like that. Go ahead and let Bron, bring the ball up and, make the offense move. That would have worked better than having Russ. Because this Laker team bad.
I know it wouldn't have worked because he hasn't played all season, but I'd rather went and got Ben Simmons and Westbrook.
Yeah, Simmons would have worked. Yeah, definitely.
Simmons would have helped you defensively.
Yep.
As well.
Yep. Yeah, he would have. So
I don't know. Is he even going to play if they in the playoffs for the Nets or not? I know they say he was going to be out the regular season.
I believe if he's feeling good by that time, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
If LeBron goes back to Cleveland or any team, that team's going to be cursed. Like every team he played for, which, they do. I mean, like you said earlier, once the team starts to go downhill a little bit, that's when he
gets
out
out
on the next team, and that team's rebuilding for 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Look how long it took Cleveland to be competitive after LeBron left.
Oh yeah, a long time.
And they were a lot better this year than what anybody thought they were going to be. I mean, nobody expected them to be as good as they are this soon. But they have some rookies and second-year players that have stepped up, and then Love's actually been playing pretty good this season as well.
Kevin Love has been playing well, yes.
He's a guy. Look at Love, for instance. He was a guy that everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to be a big star." All this, everybody. Mm-hmm. He went with LeBron, and then it was like nobody ever talks about him anymore.
Nobody talks about him. And when Bron was on Cleveland, it was Bron fans would always criticize and dog Kevin Love. It was like, he's the reason why. It's like, what?
Like now they all say it's Westbrook's fault. Back then it was always Love's fault.
It was always Kevin Love's fault. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What else? Tiger Woods. He's been practicing at Augusta. Says he's a game time decision for the Masters. I think he meant a tea time decision.
Yeah, tea time decision. Yeah.
But if he plays, you think he could contend?
Oh man, it has been a while since he has played.
Coming off all those surgeries from that wreck.
From the wreck, yeah. I don't. And it's and people watching. I don't know all of the young new golfers, so forgive me for not knowing everybody's name. But can he finish top 10 or something if he played in Masters? Yeah. But as far as winning it, that's a lot to ask for.
Oh yeah.
So he can have a top 10 finish in it. I don't believe Phil Mickelson is playing in the Masters.
What's his name? Scheffler. Scheffler's been on a roll. He's number 1 in the world now.
Scheffler's number 1. Okay, so it'll be interesting. I mean, it's different now with the different golfers and everything, but definitely his presence, I think, will not only will it draw eyes, to it.
I think if he can hit the fairways, he's going to have a chance because his iron game's always been good.
Yeah, it's always
It's usually when he struggles, it's when he can't hit when he don't hit the fairways.
Mm-hmm.
If he can find his driver, I agree with you. I can see him maybe top 10, top 15.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying he can't win it? I'm not going to say that because I'm never going to bet it.
Never bet
because a lot of people never thought he'd win a Masters again, and then what? A couple years ago.
Yep. Yeah, he won it.
I ain't gonna. That was one of the greatest things I've watched. I still remember watching it that day.
Yeah. He's two wins away from breaking Nicklaus' record.
Yeah.
Is two? Okay. So
two.
If I was him, what I would do is
and the Masters is one of the easier tournaments to win. I'm not gonna say to win, but it's a reduced field. So you don't have you're not competing against as many people.
Exactly. Now that Tiger is kind of older now, I feel like he should just focus on the 4 big tournaments and not do the small ones.
Maybe do that one tournament that's his tournament and then do the majors.
Yeah. You should just focus on the majors because I think if he does that, then he'll have a chance to break that record.
See, I think he might do that. And one thing I think that might help him do that is his son. Because now, since his son's starting to get more into the golf because he's getting a little older, I think that might push him toward only concentrating more on the majors because he's be doing the stuff with the son. At least I'm hoping, because I agree with you with all the injuries he's had. I think just the wear and tear on his body. I think it'd be better if he only had to concentrate on 4 or 5 tournaments a year instead of trying to play every week.
Yeah, instead of every week. So, but yeah, he's gonna bring eyes. I mean, if he's playing, I will watch. I'll see, how Tiger's doing, and we shall see.
I know that. I was gonna say if he wins it, man, people are gonna go crazy.
Oh wow. That's a whole yeah.
I remember when he won that last Masters, just the scene of him walking down the 18th fairway to the green and just the whole mob of people behind him.
Everybody, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't even see the fairway. It was just people.
It was people, yeah.
It'd be great to see one more time. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've always been a Tiger fan, but it just seems that would be awful quick to be able to already be at that level.
Yeah. And that was a bad wreck. And thank God he's still here after all that. And so yeah, it is a lot to ask for him, his first, tournament back to hey, go and win the Masters. It's gonna take some time. So
he played. I know he played 9 holes yesterday.
Okay.
And then I heard this morning that he was going to go back out today and play again.
Okay.
So I mean, if he played yesterday, he can go back and play again today. I mean, that'd be a good sign leaning toward that he's probably going to play if he can play back to back. I know it was only 9 holes, not a full 18, but I figure if he played 9 today, 9 yesterday, then he'll probably, if he feels all right, then he'll probably go to try to play a round of 18 before next week, because it starts, I think, next Thursday. I think.
Is it this Thursday or next
this Thursday?
Yeah, it's this Thursday. Okay.
It's the 7th, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's got a couple days.
So the Masters starts the same day as Major League Baseball.
Yeah. How about that? But yeah, if he's feeling good by Wednesday, then yeah, Tiger will go ahead and play.
What you ready for baseball to start?
I am. I'm ready. I just hope that my Royals can be not last place. They're not last place. Yeah.
That's what I hope. That's what I hope as well. I hope my Cincinnati Reds aren't in last place.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I am looking forward to the season.
I'm looking forward to it. The Reds get a primetime game opening day. Play the Braves at like 8 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, that's great.
Probably is. It might not be a good thing because we might get killed by the Braves, but Cincinnati got rid of it. I mean, it just seems like they got rid of everybody and didn't bring nobody in.
Yeah.
You lost Castellanos, you lost Winker, it's like and you got rid of two of your better pitching and Sonny Gray and Malley. I think it was Malley. Yeah, Malley. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago, the Reds were actually decent. They made the playoffs, and I know it was,
they made the playoffs and barely lost to the Braves.
Yeah, barely lost. Yeah, so they were.
And last year they just
just went. Yeah. So,
but the Royals were kind of like that too because they were pretty good 2 or 3 years ago because they won. How long has it been since they won the World Series?
2015. Yep. Yeah. So we were good for a couple years after that, and then once everybody left, Hosmer left, Kane, Moose, they had to start over.
Moose could have stayed healthy on the Reds. I love Moose.
Yeah, Moose. Yeah.
I love Moose, but he just couldn't stay healthy last year.
Yeah,
he didn't play much at all.
Yeah, the Royals were in first place for about a month last season. And we were kind of thinking like, well, maybe they can, but they couldn't keep it up.
The Royals usually do a pretty good job of developing players in their farm system because for a smaller market team, they seem to always be most of the time competing.
Yeah, Hosmer, Moose, all those guys that were involved in the title, Salvi, those are all homegrown. They were in the farm system.
It wasn't like they went out and bought a championship.
No.
It was players they drafted and that they developed.
Yep. It was all draft. Yeah. So hopefully it's a decent. Greinke is back for the Royals. So if he can, give us 15 wins or something, then, maybe we can, sneak in there. But as a Royals fan, you just hope for a decent season. So
that's what I do. Hope for a decent season. I've been waiting for the Reds to get back up there. I've been a Reds fan since I was a little kid. So I can remember watching them when they won their last one back in '90. I can remember watching that because I was 10 years old. I remember watching it with my dad and my grandpa. But I was like, man, I want you guys to be good now so I can go watch a playoff game and stuff like that.
Yeah. They did win that back in '90. Yeah.
And my dad, he went to the World Series game in '76. Him and my grandpa. So I'm like, man, that's what I want to do. I want to go watch the World Series game.
Yeah, that's how it was here for a very long time. Being a Royals fan, it's like everybody, you saw all the '85, highlights. Like, man, I wish they could do that when I'm living, So when it finally happened, it's like, yes. I was finally,
well, you probably felt that way with the Chiefs there for
a long
time. Like
we waited a long time. Yeah. So now that we got that, and the team is good.
So I remember with the Colts. I'm a big Colts fan. I remember with the Colts when we had Manning and kept losing to Brady, couldn't get to the game, couldn't get there. Like, oh, come on, we got to win one before Peyton is done.
Yeah. They were finally able to get one. Yeah, beating. Well, I knew though. I mean, once they got past Brady and they were playing Rex Grossman, I said, they're gonna win.
The only thing that made me worry, the only reason I worried a little bit about that game was because of the rain.
Yeah, the rain,
That's the only thing that worried me a little bit. Like, man, if the Bears get their run game going and we can't, but our run game ended up being real good that game. So
yeah,
Dominic Rhodes probably could have been the MVP of that Super Bowl, really.
Yeah. Dominic Rhodes was very good in that game. Yes.
But going back to baseball, what do you think about the rule changes that they made with the DH all the time now.
Yeah,
You know,
both leagues having a
National League.
DH. Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
And did they do away with the shift? I thought somebody said they
I,
banned the shift. I don't. I
excuse me, I haven't heard anything about
don't
that.
think they should ban it,
Yeah, no.
but I do think they should make a couple changes to it. I think if you're an infielder, you should have to be in the dirt. In the dirt.
Yeah.
If you're a second baseman, you shouldn't. I don't like when they play the shortstop all the way over in right field. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
no, you play here in the dirt.
Yeah, play in the dirt.
I don't care where you shift to, but because I mean, when they can play out in the outfield like that, that takes away a lot of chances to get a base hit. Balls are usually a base hit or not.
Yeah, because of maybe they should do limit how many times you can shift. Like, hey, during a 9-inning game, you can only shift 4 times during the 9 innings. I don't think anybody would be all that mad about it. So
I'm not totally against it because baseball is a strategic game.
yeah, it's very yes,
and that's the thing that makes your strategy even more important. So that's one reason I don't want them to just do away with it.
yeah. But no, I'm fine with the shifts and DH in both leagues. I think that's good because let's just be honest now. Nobody wants to see the pitcher hit. Nobody wants to see it. That's why I never really liked watching National League game because the pitcher come. I was like, what? Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, Damien. I'm just glad we don't talk about Super Bowl 55. And yeah.
I think they've done away with the runner at second base in extra innings as well, didn't they?
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
I think they might have for the playoffs, but you might use it in the regular season, something like that. I'd have to go back and look at it, but
okay.
I don't like that. I don't like that rule at all.
Yeah.
I think if you want to put a player out there to try to kind of help somebody score, put them at first base.
Yeah, put at first. Yeah.
Don't put a runner in scoring position. You're giving the offense to me too big of an advantage.
Exactly. Because
you're already in scoring position with no outs. Put the guy at first. Make them be able to move that guy around. I think that would be the better option if you want to put a guy on base.
Yeah, and plus you put a guy on second, depending on his speed, all it takes is one base hit and then game is over.
Yeah,
that's not really fair to the other team. So yeah, they could either do away with it or just like you said, Chris, have him on first and then be able to work him through there. So, but both leagues having a DH is going to be more fun. No more automatic outs in a National League games. So yeah, it makes it more fun. And baseball can be fun as long as the people running it make it that way.
And another thing the DH is going to do is it's going to extend some of these players' careers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because some of these guys that would have to retire because they really can't play out in the field anymore, but they can still hit the ball. They can still get on teams to be a DH.
Yeah.
Like Pujols. Albert Pujols is in the Cardinals starting lineup for opening day as a DH.
Mm-hmm.
He's not at this point in his career, he's not going to be an everyday first baseman anymore. But
right.
But now you're opening up more positions because now all the National League teams are going to have to have players like that for DHs. So you opened up some positions where some of your older guys might get to play a few extra years because they can still hit the ball. They just really can't do the other things every day like they used to be able to.
Yeah, and that's good for the game of baseball. Now your superstars can play longer, which is baseball needs as many superstars as it can. So if Pujols now, DH and he can play till he's 40 or 42. I don't know his current age right now, but add a couple years to him. I mean, that's great because we want to see Albert. We want to see these guys play long that have been great players.
What baseball needs to do is shorten the season up a little bit.
Agree. Yeah.
Shorten the season up a little bit and make it where the World Series is late September or early October. So then you're not playing these games where it's cold.
Yeah.
You play. It's never made no sense to me. Major League Baseball plays all the regular season games. It's either when it's nice outside for almost everybody, and then your games that mean the most.
Mm-hmm.
You have to worry about weather conditions, being cold and stuff that you don't have to mess with hardly any other time during the season. It don't make no sense. Shorten the season, have your World Series and your best games in good weather because the players are going to play better. The fans can enjoy it more. It just, to me, it just make everything a little better. If you don't have to worry about being in New York and it's 30 degrees outside.
Yeah, I remember as a kid watching the '97 World Series, and when the games were in Cleveland, it was like 20 degrees or something. And the Florida players were kind of like, well, what the heck? Like, and they had heaters and stuff, in the dugout, and it's like, and it was very cold in those.
It affects the game.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. If that Game 7 was in Cleveland instead of Florida, Cleveland would have won that World Series probably. So because of the weather being so cold, and I mean, it affects the pitcher's grip, all of that. So yeah, weather is definitely a factor. Late September, early October will be a great time for the World Series to be played. So if you have like 120 game regular season or something like that, then maybe we can make that happen.
Even if they want to add another playoff team, that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That's just more, to me, that's just more baseball. So I don't care. But move it up so the weather don't become a factor in who wins the game.
Yeah, I like the playoff format they did during the COVID year. The extra, playoff team. It made it more exciting, and it gave more teams a chance. So you got to see the White Sox, you got to see the Reds, in the playoffs. And so I think that's good. I think they need to bring that back. Make it so more teams can, get in.
Yep. Yeah, because baseball, I love baseball, but and I'm a big baseball fan, but I'll say it can be hard to watch sometimes on TV. It's a totally different game. It's a totally different experience watching baseball on TV than going to the ballpark, and watching the game.
Yeah,
going to a baseball game is one of my favorite live sports to go to.
Oh yeah, it's very good. Yes,
but on TV, it's a little hard. It can be a little harder to watch because sometimes it's hard to sit there for 4.5 hours.
Yeah, it is. And
I don't know what you do to really speed it up. People say make it a 7-inning game, but I don't like that because that takes too much of the strategy out of the game because it's only 7 innings. If I have 3 good starting pitchers, I might not even have to use my bullpen. I can use my starting pitcher and bring in my closer.
Yeah, that's it.
That's less strategy. I don't have to worry about what pitchers I'm going to use for the 7th, 8th, 9th. If I set up guy in my closer now, my starter might be able to go all 7 innings if he's hot.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the answer. They want to do a pitch clock.
No.
They've done that in the minor leagues. It don't speed the game up that much.
No, they need to stop with that. How many times have we talked about? Oh, let's have a pitch clock. Like, no.
Baseball's just it's different than any other sport, and there's not really no way to speed it up.
No. I mean, you can't just all of a sudden be like, okay, guys, like hurry up and hurry up and pitch the ball. I mean, they're pitching like 95 miles an hour. You don't want nobody getting hit in the head because they're trying to go extra fast. And so it's a natural, speed that goes with it.
It's just not a great TV product. Like the NFL NFL's made for TV.
Yeah, it's made. Yeah.
It's a great TV product.
Yeah.
Because you do a play right back to it. Baseball is just, it isn't. It's just the way the game is. It's not great to watch on TV. I watch it. Don't get me wrong. I watch almost every Cincinnati Reds game.
All right,
I was watching the spring training game the other day, which I don't know why. It's the first time I watched a spring training game in years, but it was on TV and I watched. I usually don't start watching until regular season.
Yeah, regular.
Like this Thursday night at 8:00, I'll be watching the Reds game.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
You have fans like that, but then you have a lot of fans that they won't watch it on TV at all. But if I call up my buddy and say, hey, you want to go to a baseball game? They're all for it. They're like, yeah, let's go. But they're not. If I call them and say, hey, you want to come over and watch the game? Oh, well, we watching basketball game. Never watching baseball. No, I don't like watching baseball on TV.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. They say they rather go to the game than watch it. I think Fox does a great job, especially during the playoffs, of keeping the camera shots going. When you're seeing different shots, it makes the game go a little bit faster.
Yep.
You may not realize it because they're showing everything, but I think Fox has done a great job the past 20 some odd years that they've been doing the playoffs, keeping the camera going, making sure that our eyes are, looking at something else other than, the field for 4 hours. So
yeah, you don't on some of the networks. That's a good point. So on some of the networks, it's just like dead time.
Yeah,
and sometimes the commentators will talk, but I've watched some games where the commentators are just sitting there.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at a TV at a ballpark and not hearing nothing. It's like, what's going on here?
What's going on, right? Yeah.
And on Fox, they stay more to baseball. If you watch some of these regional networks, when you watch when it's not playoffs, them announcers might not even talk about the baseball game for 10 minutes. They'll go on some other topic.
Yeah, talk something else. Yeah.
And not even mention what's going on the field for like 10 minutes. Well, if I'm not a baseball fan that understands what's going on, I have no clue what just happened.
Yeah. And then you'll end up turning it because you don't know. You're right. Right. And
I mean, like guys like me and you that have watched it, we know what's going on. It's not as big a deal, but like my son, if I one son, he ain't a big baseball fan. If I sit him down there wanting nothing, talking or nothing, he's going to turn it real quick because he's going to be like, I don't understand what's going on. And my other son, he would sit there and watch it because he was big. He was a big baseball player and he understands the game and he loves it.
Oh yeah. I mean, small talk is good sometimes, during the games, but sometimes we kind of go. They kind of go all the way left somewhere. It's like, okay, let's not, let's go back to the game, So, well, yeah, I'm ready for baseball. We'll see what happens. Can the Braves?
NBA playoffs as well.
NBA playoffs, coming up. Yeah.
Who you think's going to win it this year in the NBA?
Oh man. All signs are pointing to Phoenix. Depending on how healthy Steph Curry's foot is, I still think Golden State has a chance. But if that foot is not at least 75% when the playoffs start, then I think Phoenix will come out the West and they'll beat whoever comes out of the East. I mean, Giannis is still Giannis. If it's, the Bucks again, I would figure their defensive strategy would be different this go around than it was last year.
Oh no, Giannis is hitting step back threes now.
Yeah, he's hitting step backs now. So maybe it's, well, let's see how many step backs he can make. But
he hit that one the other night. I was like, are you serious?
yeah,
He can usually he don't hit wide open with loaded step back.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give him this. He is clutch. He come like making them 2 free throws. He comes through a lot of times when the team needs him. But he won that game. He won that game for him that night against the Nets.
Oh yeah, he did. The Eastern Conference, everybody was saying the Bulls, was gonna be the team, and now that they've been injured, they kind of fallen back. The Nets, now that Kyrie can play, now Nets are back in it. So it's going to be a interesting playoff coming up.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Warriors. I think if the Warriors are healthy, they have a chance.
Yeah, they got a chance. Yep.
But Phoenix is just playing so good. Even when Chris Paul was out, Devin Booker carried the team.
Yep.
And you had Payne and some of them other guys step up. They just got so much depth.
They do.
And then you add Chris Paul's leadership to that, and it's just a great combination. And then in the East, especially if Ben Simmons comes back and plays in the playoffs, the Nets are going. I think the Nets are going to be a tough out. They're going to be scary.
Yeah, the Nets.
Because I mean, Durant can basically almost score anytime he wants. I mean, it's
the only team that can see. They're 10th right now.
Who's 10th?
Brooklyn is 10th right now.
Yeah, they're holding on to that last spot.
Okay, so
they're going to have to win 2 games just to get to the regular playoff series.
Yeah, just to get So they would beat Charlotte. So now you're playing Cleveland or the Hawks. Now that's if they're going to lose a game. That's in that play-in, playing Trae Young. That's kind of
If he gets hot and the Hawks decide to play defense that day, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, yeah. So
that's Atlanta's biggest problem is you never know if they show up on defense, they look good, but then there's other games act like they don't know what they're doing on defense.
Exactly, yeah. So if Brooklyn can get out of that, and then
what do you think about Philly?
That's another with James Harden, yeah. So right now they're 4th. So they would play.
Can Harden finally break through in the playoffs?
He's never done. That's the thing with James Harden is he's been on really good teams, and when it's playoff time, he just hasn't gotten it done. The real bad ones have been when he was with Houston and
when Chris Paul got hurt.
Yeah, Chris Paul had got hurt.
And didn't they have a 3-1 lead?
It was lead? 3 games. It was 3 games to 2.
Yeah, 3-2
that year, and then the following year, KD gets hurt. You have Game 6 in your house, and you still couldn't beat Golden State. James Harden didn't play well that night either. So,
I think that's the night where they missed like 26 straight 3-pointers or
that
something.
Was the yeah, they missed all the threes. yeah. So, I don't. If the Sixers are going to make a run, it's going to be because Joel Embiid and James Harden carry the team to it. Embiid can't do it by himself. No. He's gonna need some help, and so it's gonna be up to James Harden. They can't blame it on Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is gone. So it's all on Embiid and Harden to get this thing done.
Oh, okay. I saw a message. Yeah, I kind of hope Harden has a good playoff series just so because he's a great player and he's just never had that playoff moment yet
Yeah,
where he
he
broke
has.
through.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Heat are the Heat are the number one seed right now. If it all ended today. So well, the East is gonna be East playoffs are gonna be crazy. Yeah.
Then Ben Simmons, he's filing a grievance against the 76ers to try to get back about $20 million that they fined him for not playing this season. So now it's going to go to an arbitrator and
Mhm.
everything. But yeah, he's filing a grievance saying that he shouldn't got fined because of it was mental health.
Oh, okay.
If he wins this,
Mhm.
this could change the way contracts and stuff are written in the NBA from here moving forward.
Yeah. Um, with him saying that it's mental health, um, he's probably going to win that because it would be hard for the it'll be hard for the Sixers to be like, well, no, it wasn't mental health. He just didn't want to play, and that's hard to kind of disprove that. So um, I can see Ben Simmons winning that, grievance, and also, and it would change the game as far as how contracts are done, and maybe they'll have it in your contract somewhere where, hey, if we feel like you are using mental illness for personal gain or whichever way they want to word it, then you can't get this money back in fines and so
Yes.
yeah so it can
It could change a lot, and it's going to change. It'll change how teams have to handle players when players are saying that
mm-hmm.
that's mental illness. Because I'm not saying it wasn't illness with Simmons at all, but I mean it's going to be a touchy subject of how can you tell how are you going to be able to tell if it's mental illness or not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have your doctor look at him, and he says it ain't. But if he has a doctor that says it is,
right.
I mean, so it's going to be a touchy situation because there ain't no really clear cut way to figure out if that's the problem or not.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there's no way to prove or disprove. So, and then the Sixers don't want to look like the bad guy and not giving the money back if it's a mental, health thing. So,
Yeah, they don't want to look like a bad guy if they don't give them the money back, and then something happens,
exactly,
and it's because of mental health, and
It's
then they're going to look like, oh fuck.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
maybe we should have gave him his money.
Yeah, we should have gave it to him. Yeah. So he will win the grievance. He will get his money. The Sixers will, move on from it. But it will either way it goes. It does change the game as far as how contracts are written. Definitely.
Which can be a good thing too, because I mean, don't get me wrong, these players get well compensated for what they do,
Mm-hmm.
but there is times that the teams take advantage of players.
Yes.
As well. But don't get me wrong, there's times that players take advantage of teams too. So I mean, it goes both ways. But all you ever really hear about a lot of times is when the teams are doing stuff that people don't think is right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
the problem is the players do stuff too. So then sometimes that's why there is some of the stupid rules, is because they're just both sides trying to protect themselves.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's just like you said, players do it to the teams, and teams do it to the player. So it's just one of those deals where I hope that Ben Simmons got over whatever was, messing with his, his, psyche,
Yes.
Anytime you go, look, I've never played no NBA ball or nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure if I had a whole city that hated me because I didn't play well in a playoff game, that would make you feel some kind of way. And maybe it affected him more negative than it would me or you or, somebody else. So if that was the case, then I'm hoping that he's all good now and he can move forward.
Well, especially when you get thrown under the bus by your coach.
Yep.
And by people you thought were on your side, where so I mean that makes it even tougher. And of course, you're going to feel basically like the coach turned on you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And being the coach, that's supposed to be a guy you can trust, and you think the coach is going to have your back. And then when that don't happen, I mean, I understand why he didn't want to play there no more. I mean,
yeah.
You play for a coach that you don't trust. I mean, and Rivers gave him a reason not to trust him by what he said, and then Embiid didn't help it either.
Oh yeah. It was once.
I think more stuff happened that hasn't made it public yet.
Yeah.
For that situation to get to that point, I think there was some stuff behind the scenes that hasn't came out. There to me there has to be, because it just seems like that situation went way too far over something that shouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Yeah. And it might have been going on in that whole series, because last 3 games of that series, Ben Simmons couldn't do anything. So maybe it was something going on that was making him not be able to do anything, and we don't know. So, but yeah, Doc and Embiid, I get it. You're frustrated at that time because you just lost the playoffs, but some stuff you just say behind closed doors, and you don't let nobody else. You don't let nobody else hear that. So.
The worst thing that he did, he missed a layup that he should have hit.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen guys do that? I mean, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does. And the only thing I
mad about it, say something to him behind the scenes. Don't do it in a press conference.
Exactly. And the only horrible thing that happened in that series was when Ben Simmons didn't take that open layup and he passed it back out.
Yep.
And that was one I would have talked to him, behind closed doors, and say, hey, you wide open. You got to take that now. You can't just be passing it out. But
and see, that's what makes me think it was mental stuff going on, because how long has he's played basketball his whole life, and 9 times out of 10 he's going to shoot that ball.
Yeah.
He was so worried because he hadn't been shooting the ball well and everything, and all the press and fans on him. They got in his head, and then he passed the ball. He was afraid to even shoot the ball.
Yeah, he was very scared. Yeah. And I had never seen that from a professional basketball. I've never seen that.
It looked like one of them high school players you see in some of the movies where they get the ball and they just get rid of it real quick.
Get rid of it, yeah.
Like, no, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
You take it.
I don't want it. I am not good. I'm gonna pass this to somebody else. Yeah.
All right. Well, was anything else that you want to talk about today before we get out of here?
Just one thing. I'm calling it the Josh Allen rule, which is the new overtime rule that is now in place. What are your thoughts on it, Chris? Because I'm
kind of mixed on it, because
okay.
I understand I kind of understand the point that they want both of them to get the ball like in college, but the kind of old school part of me says you've had 60 minutes to win this game. So you've had a fair opportunity to win this game. So it wouldn't bother me if it was even like the old rules where a field goal won the game. Because I mean, you rely on your defense to win the whole game. Because how many times do we say, "Oh, they would have won if they played better defense"?
Yeah.
But now in overtime, we don't want to depend on our defense to try to win us a game. So I mean, it kind of don't make no sense that way. I personally think they should just keep it how it is, where if a team kicks a field goal, the other team gets a possession. But if a team scores a touchdown, game should be over.
It's over. Yeah. Yep. I agree. They shouldn't have changed it to me. The one thing about that playoff game against the Bills was, now say it was the rules that it is now. You know how many overtimes that would have been? Because nobody was stopping nobody. So it would have been 4 or 5.
It'd been like one of them college games that has 7 overtimes.
Yeah. It would have went on, and then now you're expecting that team that just played a 5-6 overtimes to play to play an AFC Championship game the next week. So that's why it's kind of, I feel like the NFL is saying two different things, because you say, okay, we care about player safety. So okay, but you want them to play 4 overtimes. And I know it's just, well, the regular season will still be ties and stuff, and the playoffs is 4. Well, if I'm a team that's on a bye week in the playoffs, I'm hoping my opponent done played 3 overtimes the week before. I'm gonna have the upper hand, because I know they're dog tired. And maybe somebody got injured that's, key to their team or something. And, so now I got the upper hand. And, I just feel like the NFL, they kind of they overreacted in this. And I understand some people are tired of seeing the Chiefs in Wednesday. I get it. I get, but just leave it the way that it was,
They overreacted to fans and media members saying that that needed change. And I don't think there should be a tie in the regular season. I think that's
me too. Yeah,
I think that's the stupidest damn thing in the world.
It is. It is. Yeah, ties are dumb.
Don't play a game with tie. I mean, play it. Use the same overtime rules that you use in the playoffs. Just
exactly.
But, I was fine with the way they had it. If a team kicks a field goal, because field goal kickers now can kick about 60 yards anymore. So I understand if they kick a field goal, give the other team a possession. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
But if you let that team go down and score a touchdown, you don't deserve to win the game. I mean,
and it's this, and we, here.
You always hear defensive guys say, well, nobody cares about the defense. It's all offense now. Well, that's your chance. That's your chance to shine on defense and get the ball back for your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we had to deal with it, here in Chiefs Kingdom when we lost the AFC Championship to Tom Brady. They boop down the field in overtime, and then that was it. And we just had to take it in. Like, hey, our defense was not good.
That one was a hard one to take because you had the game won if it wasn't for an offsides call.
Oh God. D Ford is still not. He's still not welcomed here. By the way, not.
That game was over.
Yeah, it was done. Yeah, it was done if he wasn't offside. Yeah, so you did that, and then the defense couldn't get it done in the overtime. So it's just one of those deals. If your defense doesn't play well, they gave up the touchdown, and your season is over. That's just what it is. And But now I feel like, so the NFL, since we're going to this rule, I don't want to hear nothing about player safety. So I want us to start hitting people the way we used to hit people and all that stuff, because obviously the player safety thing is, you didn't care about it for the overtime rule.
Or adding another game to the regular season
No,
last year.
You added another game, so how are we caring about player safety?
It's all about that money.
Yeah, it's money.
And not just the owners either. The players are about that money too.
Right, yeah.
I mean, or they would have. I mean, they could sit out in the collective bargaining and try to get more stuff, but it all comes down to that money.
Oh yeah, it comes down to money.
And playing that extra game, all of them got more money. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So
and they're wanting to add another game.
Yeah, they want to do 18, to make it even. I'm fine with football going into like the third week of February. That's all good and everything. But
I love watching football. So you guys, they can play as many games they want. I'm not playing them, but if I'm a player, I'm like, hey, now.
Yeah, so we do 18.
I'm going to be getting compensated pretty good. I had 2 more games on my schedule.
Yeah, that's it. So 18 regular season game, then your playoffs. So that's 22 weeks of football. Yeah. I mean, but at the same, if they go that route, then I don't want to hear nothing about player safety. So let them, because some of these penalties y'all be calling in the name of player safety be the dumbest penalties I've ever seen. So, let's get back to, I'm not saying do it like it was back all the way back in the day where they're getting hit in the head so hard where, their brain is messed up and all of that. But some of this stuff, y'all can let go and not be calling, but y'all call it in the name of player safety. So,
oh yeah, I agree. It's all about the money. That's all. I mean, that's the only reason they are wanting to add these more games. The TV contracts.
Yeah, the TV
contracts are so huge anymore.
Oh yeah. They're making money from that too. Yeah, TV contracts. Yeah, all that.
All right. You got anything else you want to talk about?
That was it.
I think it went good for the first episode of the new show. I think Ray might join us tomorrow.
Okay.
They had sent a message that said that Ray wanted to jump on, but I just saw it a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
I had my phone sounds turned down.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear it, but so I'm going to send him the link as well tomorrow, so he might join. I know Dustin said he was going to join some.
Okay.
But so we might have some more people tomorrow. But
awesome.
You got any final thoughts?
Just hope for a good game tonight.
Yeah, a great national title game tonight.
Yeah, hope for a good game. I'm not picking nobody. So I don't like neither team. But at least want the game to be good.
ASAP Sports Network giving us a shout out. Good stuff, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys joining us for the first episode of ASAP Afternoon Blitz. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 Central. And on behalf of Greg, I'm Chris. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole